Hello everyone, this is Panda. It's pretty cold out here, so please bear with me as I talk about a piece of video equipment that I have used in the past several times since 2016. And that's the Edelkrone's video cage, slider, and motor system. So let me explain my history with Edelkrone, but first, this video is response to one of you. One of you is a amateur videographer, and one of you asked me a question about sliders in one of my slider videos. So you asked me if is carbon fiber better than aluminum? Yes. Is it true that carbon fiber is more expensive on some motorized gimbals? No. And I'm going to explain why that is. Because you got Edelkrone, you got the Rhino Arc 2 system, which is much cheaper, much more easier to set up, much more better to use. Then you got GMB that has also an electric motorized system that is much better and much more easier to set up. Unlike the Edelkrone's video slider and motor, which is huge. And not only that, the focus motor was a problem. Let me explain this from the history. So back in 2015, 2016, this is when Edelkrone started advertising sliders. And the thing about the slider was I was looking for corner 20 threads and 3/8 threads to mount on both sides. And with Edelkrone's electric motor sliders, you don't get that option to have stability. So let me explain. When I did buy it and I used it for 2 weeks, I had major problems with it. The motor would tip over when there's too much weight, and not only that, the selim column to mount the quarter thread, mind you that like sometimes that would come loose over time. But the problem was when you buy accessories. Now, Edelkrone makes really good products, but when it comes down to accessories like battery packs or battery remount packs, they use cheap plastic. So I don't recommend it. But with my experience with Edelkrone, it was not very good. So let me tell you why. I sent my electric motor back in 2016 and never bought an Edelkrone product again. But I did use it several times on other people's video sets or with a client or with a talent, where I ran into major problems with the whole complete $4,000 system. Mind you guys, this video agency or company or friend literally bought $4,000 of Edelkrone's motorized, the whole system. I was familiar with the system, and I was telling him that you sure you want to fuck with that? I said, literally used the F word and I dropped the F bomb. He says, why? I was like, I'm not going to be sitting here for 30, 40, 50 minutes toying with this machine. He goes, oh, so you have used this? Yes, I have. So let me explain what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. It will literally take you at least 35 minutes to set up. Imagine you with the client or with the talent, or you are with a production agency and they hired you and they know you have good gear. But the problem is setting up that Edelkrone video gear. That will make you look like an amateur trying to set up, oh, give me 1 second. Let me try to fix this. And you're fiddling with your phone, you're messing with the app because the app is just buggy, period. For all its motors, yes, the app really doesn't, here's the thing. The app is so buggy that it would not and refuses to pick up or find the device for the motors. Mind you that there's 2 separate motors with Edelkrone. This is why with other manufacturers you get 1 motor. Sometimes the motors can be a little bit squeaky, but with Edelkrone you get 2 motors, 2 cables. But not only that, you have to have 2 different power sources to power each motor, not 1 motor powering everything else, which was just redundant. Why $4,000 when I could spend? And I told my friend, which he did. He went out and bought the Rhino Arc 2 and said that this was a better fit because all you have to do was mount the camera. Here's the problem with Edelkrone. when you mount the camera onto the Edelkrone system, you literally have problems with the tilt, with the focus, because you got to plug it into your camera, to the motor, and when you do A shot to B shot, focus here to focus here, it would not work half the time. Not only that, it will not focus half the time, or it will literally stop. The motor will just stop as it's doing a shot or panning the shot. It go, it would just stop and says something, some kind of error. I forgot what the error was, but that's why I'm trying to make this video for someone like you, the videographer in mind. Now, I don't have the Edelkrone product before, but if you look back on this channel, only back in 2015-16, when I did buy it, and I bought it, I bought it through their website, through PayPal, and I sent it back. You know how long Edelkrone literally took forever to pay me back, to refund me? I was unsatisfied with the product. And then when I used it on someone else's shoot, it was just tedious. For instance, me and my buddy Yuma, he's Japanese, he has that. He's never used it ever since then, after we ran into a problem with the Edelkrone system. We spent about 40 minutes trying to set it up, and it wouldn't work. That's the problem. It works sometimes and it doesn't work. So if you're going to buy a motorized slider for your videography, your time lapse, your motion lapse, your hyperlapses, please stay away from the Edelkrone. Not only that you spend tons of money on products for Edelkrone, don't get me wrong, they got some great quality to their products, but execution to use it is a problem. You can't get the app to work, and when the app doesn't work, or when you get the app to work, it takes forever. Mind you that your cell phone sees these Bluetooth devices, but your app doesn't. That's a problem. But not only that, I don't like when a gimbal, you have to buy all these accessories, and I recommend using V-mount batteries if you're going to be using the Edelkrone system, because it eats battery like no other. So if you're using any PF style battery for Sony, or FP mounts for Sony, please use the bigger battery packs. But yes, on the motor, it looks kind of too stupid in my opinion. And not only that, here's the problem with the battery packs, the plastic Sony battery, what is that, adapter or attachment? It's plastic. It costs about $20 to $25. No, it costs about $40, I think. $40 for that piece of cheap plastic. And not only when you put the battery in it, this is when me and Yuma ran into a problem. We put the battery in it, and when we tried to take the battery out when it died, it wouldn't come out. But what happened next was like, what the fuck was this? Edelkrone. Excuse my language, but he was so angry. The plastic mount for the battery, when you unleash the button, that broke and the plate cracked. It literally cracked. And that's for $40? That cheap plastic piece is $40. If that was the case, I would have just found something like that on Amazon and got it for $10. I'm pretty sure some Chinese manufacturer is making the same plate for the Edelkrone for cheaper, but the same quality. That is where I told you, dude, Edelkrone has been a non-stop nuisance for my videography. The last time I used it was for my time-lapse video, if you guys recall. It's called, if you ever seen my time-lapse videos on this channel, please do watch it. Please do watch it. It's called Night Scale. I'm not talking about headphones right now, Kit Kat. I'm talking about sliders, video sliders. If you ever seen my hyperlapse or my time-lapse video, I used the Edelkrone, and one of those shots, the Edelkrone fucked up, and that's when I cut that. It's basically a shot in Portland where I was doing a time-lapse on a Pacific environment, or a bull, or elephant, sorry, and the motor just stopped. That means my time-lapse wasn't complete, so I just used that 8 seconds or that 5 seconds of footage. Mind you, 300 images is about roughly what? 800 images is roughly about 8 seconds, 10 seconds. It depends on how you shoot, but when I go out and shoot time lapses, and when I was using that Edelkrone, I literally was fucking up in Portland so much. This is when I bought it back in 2016, when I was in Portland. I literally was bitching to Edelkrone about this through social media. Some people have success with the product, but when you buy the whole complete setup for $4,000, you have to send that back because it is not ideal. It doesn't work. So for the person that asked me which is the best motorized slider, in my opinion, as a 2023, that will be the RhinoArc Mark II. Not only is smaller, compact, but it's carbon fiber, which makes carrying it around much lighter than the Edelkrone. The Edelkrone, heavy, clunky. Oh my Panda, you literally needed a separate backpack to put all the parts in it. And then when you take it out, you have to put it all together. And that's the part that I really don't like Edelkrone for. Now, I personally don't have the RhinoArc 2, but I did use it when I was at B&H. And I was like, this is my next toy. And it's about about $25,000. I mean, not $25,000, $2,500 for that setup, carbon fiber. Wait. Edelkrone with the big motor and the mount and the batteries and the plates and the slider and the cables and attachment, that's $4,000, and that's not carbon fiber? No way. I'm gonna go with carbon fiber, guys. My slider right now is carbon fiber. My tripod, carbon fiber. My carbon rails are carbon fiber, guys. My gimbal, when I mount it on extensions, carbon fiber. Why? Because carbon fiber is the most strongest, lightest material you can use as a videographer or as a photographer, especially if you're carrying lots of gear like I did. Carbon fiber is the best to go. And yes, you may think that it might cost you more money, but if you look around, and I'm giving you a price choice here, you have a choice. Edelkrone, $4,000. Rhino, $2,700. You pick the ultimate setup for all your videography, your time lapse, especially like I said earlier, if you're with a client or with a talent and you're sitting there fidgeting with your gear, you look like a pure amateur. Just setting up your gear, you look like a totally dork. You let your people down. You let the people that hire you, you let them down. You just prove to them that you're not reliable. And this is why I was trying to emphasize earlier about one of you as an audience was trying to send me Instagram advertisements of a New York City studio. And like I said, people are very opinionated about the gear that you use. So make sure you know your thing, make sure that your gear is ready, make sure your gear is working. Because honestly, if you're using Edelkrone, and I know there are a lot of people out there that have successful stories with Edelkrone, but there are, I'm pretty sure everyone ran into the same problem that we ran into using the app. But not only that, the battery, $40 battery plastic adapter for the Sony P mount batteries broke trying to get the batteries off. Not only that, Bluetooth doesn't work half the time. The motors just stop working. It doesn't focus when it was supposed to. I just think that as a videographer, you want to do your research instead of jumping on the next best thing that you saw, like, oh, I'm gonna have the Edelkrone because that's a famous brand and blah, 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 right? No, you don't go by popularity. You go by performance, execution. You know, the product stands for itself. And in my experience, I have used quite a few motorized sliders from GMV. I had the first motorized slider. It was not the most expensive one, but it was one of those $250 ones that had the motor. So that was the next motor that I bought after Edelkrone. but that one was stolen. And in Los Angeles, when I went to that HI hostel back in the day, where they did have a HI hostel in Los Angeles, where my first Sony cameras, if you guys look back at my channel, yeah, my first Sony cameras were stolen along with that slider. Yeah, and that's why I'm glad that that hostel doesn't exist anymore, because they allowed a bunch of weird people in there. I don't understand. It was supposed to be for travelers, but it wasn't for travelers. It's more like a fucking homeless shelter than anything else. But no offense. But ever since then, I've been doing everything manually. I got a manual carbon fiber slider. I do my shots manually. I even educated myself per image when I'm doing time lapse, how to move it. Every 3 images, I move it an inch. Just a slight, not an inch. I would say half an inch. I would move it every 3 to 6 images, because the slider is 15 inches, 15.7 by the way. So if I'm moving it just like this every 3 to 6 images, about time to get to the end, that should be 300 shots, and that should be about 16 seconds of video. So, and I have done it successfully. If you look at my time-lapse called Nightshade, that's my time-lapse video on my channel. Look at it and you're gonna say, wow, those are beautiful. And I've done that all manually after I went to California and then I came to New York. Yeah, it's just, my experience with sliders has been mixed bags, but I would never ever spend my money on Edelkrone ever again. It's overpriced. It is not an ideal product for professionals that need to shoot something on the scene right away, set it up quick. It's not a very quick setup. That's the point. It's not a quick setup. Rhino takes what? A minute to set up and you're done. Edelkrone would probably take you, oh my Panda, it should take you less than 2 minutes, but in my experience, it literally took me over like 30 minutes to try to get this to work and set up. So, with that said, everyone, this has been a live stream event about video motorized sliders. Why sometimes I do use them, why sometimes I don't use them. And if I'm going to use one, which one do I recommend? From my experience using that B&H, not as someone that purchased it, but doing the research and doing the homework and understanding what the motor and what that setup is, I'm going for either the GMV, what is it, GMV 360 or 380 model, or the Rhino Arc 2. But keep in mind, the GMV model is not carbon fiber, it's aluminum, so it's gonna weigh a little bit more. So keep that in mind. All right, but KitKat, yes. Economically, carbon fiber is much better on the shoulders for videographers and photographers. You know how many times I have, guys, on this channel, I have many tripods. Many tripods. Aluminum tripods. They were literally heavy on my shoulders, climbing up mountains. I'm also a landscape photographer, astrophotography. And the problem with aluminum carbon fiber, they weigh a lot and they hurt your shoulders when you have your camera mounted on it. So carbon fiber is probably the best way to go, in my opinion. And like I said, I got pretty much everything carbon fiber. Not half of my gear is carbon fiber. So half of the gear, tripods, motorized accessories to gimbals, have to be carbon fiber. And you can get cheap carbon fiber, good carbon fibers on Amazon or B&H. So yeah, but with that said, everyone, so if I fulfill your needs as a videographer, please do so. But if you have experience with the Edelkrone, let me know down in the comments down below, because honestly, I did not have a very good experience with their products. I think they're overpriced. I think the battery adapter for the Sony, $40, is way overpriced. That thing should have been like $15. If it breaks that easily, and you have to keep buying them, yes. There have been reports that people kept buying them because it kept breaking. That's not something that I'm looking forward to a product. I'm going to skip. So as someone that's consulting you guys on video products, and this is why I'm a travel consultant, consulting with you about the products. I tried these products on this channel, and sometimes they fail or they win. And then I do updates. The longest product that I had on this channel was my Minolta 50 f1.7 lens. I had that since I was 12 years old, and I sold it to someone that was an enthusiast, because I wasn't going to sell it to anyone. I sold it to someone that understood why I make these videos, why that manual 1977 lens was still as good in 2020 at the time. So with that said, I made videos for the last 5 years on that lens, demonstrating that even it's a manual lens, I still rack focus pretty well. With that said, everyone, as a videographer, I just want to make sure that you purchase the right gear, so you don't have to make the complaints or send it back and wait. I know, because sometimes you could be very excited to get your new toy. But thank you, Jonathan, for the $10 donation from the Cash App. I appreciate it. But yes, if you guys want to support the channel, you can buy my prints. I'm right now doing glass prints only to fractal. So with that said, guys, I'm going to see if they have any Christmas specials, so it'll be posted on the YouTube community post form. I will post if Fractal does have any like discounts. It's up. Squirrels. I love squirrels. But anyway, oh, there's two more. But anyway, guys, I just want to please one of my viewers, because he asked the question, which slider? So hopefully, I know this is 20 minutes long. I know this is tedious, but you have to understand what I went through of the whole. You gotta understand what I went through the 5 years of trying these gimbals or these motorized sliders and wasting money and sending it back. And the worst one out of all of them was the most expensive was Edelkrone, because it didn't work as I was hoping to. So, and I had to do things manually by hand. And I do have my carbon fiber slider in my carbon fiber, the tripod bag, which I need to buy a new camera tripod bag because it's broken. But anyway, guys, because I stretched the bag because of it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed some of my imagery that I've been posting on the YouTube's community board. I didn't make a video yesterday because I don't want to make live streams anymore, because if you guys have heard or have been seeing the comments lately, and I want YouTube to take this very seriously, we've been getting death threats here in New York City because I'm doing my job as a documentarian. And I want to emphasize this to New Yorkers. As a documentarian and a journalist, and as a filmmaker, as a photographer, you know, as my First Amendment right, as an auditor, I feel that that's disrespectful for you as citizens of this unique city. I think it's disrespectful that you won't allow me to do my job, to emphasize awareness that goes on in this city. I know some of you guys disagree with my approach. You're not from New York, but guess what? I've been coming here for a long time, visiting, and I never seen the city the way it is as of now. So with that, tell everyone, as auditors and as documentarians, we're only trying to do our job to emphasize awareness. This channel is a sponsorless channel. Only you support this channel. Only you support it. YouTube doesn't pay me. YouTube doesn't support, because we know, and you can ask my audience in the comments, please do so. We know that YouTube does not like to monetize my content. Look what happened to just on the 29th of November. They demonetized a video about me talking about the weather. It's on my community post. You can look at it. So with that said, everyone, please support the channel, subscribe, like, share, hit the notification button if you care for. If you want to see more content like this. if you have a question about any photography gear, videography gear, please let me know down in the comments. I do my research, or I would just make a live stream to talk about it. Now, currently, I am shooting with Canon EF cameras with IRIX manual lenses. And you can see from my imageries, I shoot with a lot of lenses and a lot of camera bodies. From Sony, Nikon, Canon, Pentax Micro Four Thirds. I use Micro Four Thirds for quite some time, just to prove you a point that camera gear didn't matter. Because when IRIX sent me the 150mm micro lens to review, I had only at the time with me in Madison, Wisconsin, Sony A mount and E mount. Now I could have brought adapter EF to E mount, but I brought the cheapest adapter EF to Micro Four Thirds and shot it on a Xiaomi Sony MX2563 sensor, I believe it was. And guys, I shot 4K video with that, and you guys were even impressed with that review. You guys were like, wow, that's the video quality? And mind you, the crop factor on that, it's not 1.7, but it's actually 1.9 on a Micro Four Thirds. So now that 150 becomes a 300mm telephoto lens. So I want you guys to check out my video about the IRIX lens. Yes, it was one of my earlier videos that I did. Guys, it took me a while because at that time I was going through some IRS legal problems at the time. So but if you watch the video carefully, I shot video and stills, but I also did something else in that video. I actually test focus breathing. It did not have that. It has minimum focus breathing. So you may have seen it in one of my videos, but it would focus and then like boom. But it's a great lens. It works. I use IRIX lenses 11, 15, 35, 45, 150. I use them all. And yes, I still have some EF lenses, but I like shooting manually. I grew up using manual lenses, using film in the 80s and 90s. I was a big fan of Minolta. I was a big fan of A mount for a long time, and Nikon. But I just wanted to give you guys emphasize what this channel is all about. It's to educate you about photography and videography. It's not to upsell you anything, but I could upsell you my prints if you want to support the channel, and that's another way you can support, to buy the prints. So with that, tell everyone, just buy the gear that makes sense for you. And if you want to be on a budget but still have money to spend, but you want a good product, I recommend, please do the research on the product that you're about to buy, so you have understanding. Watch videos of other photographers, videographers using the gear before you buy it, because it's important that as a consumer, you have to watch those videos, because that's your review. That is why we make these videos, to educate you, because sometimes these written reviews on these websites could be fake. And I know on Amazon, half of them are fake. So this is why, as the Panda Photographer, I do have an Amazon account, I do write reviews. I don't even write reviews on Amazon anymore, because Amazon used to, and have, and still do, to this day, reject my reviews because they're too well written, too well good. I'm a photographer and videographer. What do you expect to happen, Amazon? But with that, tell everyone, I just want you to get a good grasp on what you buy next. I don't care if you buy the next best microwave. Make sure you do the research on that microwave, because there might be a recall if you don't do your research, or your vehicle, or I don't know, your next pair of shoes. And I really want to talk about these Sorel boots that I purchased, because I'm very disappointed. They don't keep my feet very warm like my old boots did. But that's a different video for a different topic. But like I said, everybody, I'm Panda. I'm Keiki, not Kiki, Keiki. Like cake, key. Cake and a key. Cake that you eat, key that you turn. Put it together. Keiki, not Kiki. Kiki's girl. And I'm saying this because a lot of you males, I let you guys slide here a lot in New York. Oh, what's up, Kiki? I'm like, only if I had a sister. But it is cakey. This is why I prefer you guys to call me Panda. And by the way, let's talk about quickly at Starbucks review. Starbucks. I was in Starbucks in the Astor Place and this Starbucks here. Why do you guys don't listen to my name? I said Panda like the bear, and the woman wrote. Let me show you. Let me just show you the video clip, so you guys have a good idea what I'm talking about. So once again, people here tend not to listen. I got my name spelled wrong. The third time. Third time in 3 Starbucks. You spelled Panda wrong? Right. It's so easy. It's Panda, like the bear. Now I've been going in Starbucks for like hot tea or hot cocoa with almond milk with no dairy, right? And they always spell Panda like the bear. So you spell it P-A-N. The other day it was Kendo. You remember that, guys? Oh yeah, guys, you wouldn't watch my Instagram. The other day it was Kendo's. I said Panda, someone wrote Kendo. I'm like, what? No, it's, how the hell you get Panda mixed with Kendo? I have no idea. This is why I like, do people in Starbucks listen? So this is why I recommend it in Starbucks. Turn down the music. Your decibel level should not be over 60. Should be a comfortable 42 decibel. When I listen to music, I don't blast my headphones. I listen at a certain decibel. Do you want to go deaf? I hate yelling at someone in a conversation. I don't like that. I don't like yelling at someone and trying to overpower the conversation. But here's the thing. Starbucks in Japan, they don't use, I was about to talk about that. Starbucks in Japan, this is why I like Starbucks in Japan. They don't over decibel the music. They keep it at, and it's a requirement law in Japan. They keep it at a 30 decibel, 40 decibel. Because if you guys don't know, back in the day in Japan, they had this fukushuku law that you couldn't have music or like, especially for nightclubs, you know, in Japan, You guys know about that. Please don't join the can me. But anyway, friends, I just want to emphasize the gear that I use and the motor slider that I do use eventually. But let's talk about Japan on another topic. And because but here I think Starbucks need to turn down the music, because if you guys can't not listen to my name and get it wrong, then obviously you need to turn down your music, because I think communication is better than presentation. Well, music is not the presentation. Yeah, it is part of the presentation when you walk in a Starbucks, but honestly, you don't need the music to be guys, I walked in that Starbucks and tested the decibel level. You guys see me do that. It was at 88 decibel. I'm like, why is it so loud? So you literally have to, like, yes, I need to yelling at them. It's something that I normally don't do. Yeah, I don't like yelling. And if I do yell, it's either at rage or someone doing something stupid to some good person, like the other day, that asshole. Yeah, I digress. But with that said, everyone, let's see here, Kit Kat, But anyway, guys, don't buy motorized sliders if they are complicated to use, and especially when they say $4,000. Ugh, the waste of time. Trust me, don't make the mistake I did. Just stick with other than Edelkrone. It's a bad. I really don't like the way they upsell. Oh, here's another thing about Edelkrone that I did not tell you. When you're using the app, it's literally advertisement. They literally try to upsell you more shit. So if you do buy Edelkrone products and you use the app, keep in mind you're gonna see more advertisements than functionality of the app. So they try to upsell you more stuff. So this is why I definitely do not recommend Edelkrone video products, because all they do is advertise more stuff while you're using it. I'm like, why are you fucking interfering with my work by advertising a 15-20 second advertisement? Yeah, that's inside the app. That's so not, that's not what I paid for. I didn't pay, no one should not pay $4,000 to see ads. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Edelkrone, if you want to upsell stuff, do it properly. Don't do it while people already bought the most expensive product you have. Then you try to upsell more stuff. And this is why I told my Japanese friends and another film crew, don't fuck with the Edelkrone stuff anymore. And they stopped. Now they're using Rhino brands or GMV now, and that's a very good brand, by the way. I keep telling you about GMV. Very good brand. It's been around for some time. People don't talk about it a lot, but they make some good stuff. But carbon fiber motorized sliders are the way to go, friends. Simple as that. I have it. Half my shit is carbon fiber. I like carbon fiber. It makes transportation much easier, and I can get away with carrying more stuff if it's carbon fiber and still keep the load, especially if you're traveling on airlines or trains. I don't recommend buses, because buses, yeah, they just crush your stuff. But with that said, everyone, you guys take care. Enjoy your Sunday, and yeah, see ya.